1. Point number 1 is don't get CDMs. It's a controversial point. In reality, they are the most vital component that links the midfield and the defense. But in your fantasy league, they will contribute little to your points tally. Reason being is because the CDM position is the hardest by far to get goals and assists. This is especially the case for teams that play 1 holding midfielder and 2 attacking midfield players. This can be seen with the likes of Liverpool skipper Jordan Henderson, who had one of the highest usage and pass efficiency rate, but as he only logged 4 assists and 1 goal in the season, he was highly undesired in FPL. Another example would be N'Golo Kante. Although N'Golo Kante was by far the best player in the Premier League last season, he only had 1 assist and 1 goal. Other highly touted CDMs like Victor Wanyama, Idrissa Gueye, and Romeo only had a combined goal tally of 6 goals, which is still less than the amount that Andy Carroll scored, only playing 18 games. And although certain CDMs like Nemanja Matic and Ander Herrera averaged 6.5 assists last season, we would recommend that you put your money elsewhere. 2. Point number 2 would be to pick defenders from teams that have a good defensive mindset and track record. It is not necessarily the case that you always have to take most expensive defenders to show up your defense. But you should also take into consideration teams such as Southampton and even Burnley, as these two teams had a combined clean sheet total of 24 clean sheets. Taking defenders from these teams would be especially useful if you intend to take attackers from other teams such as Chelsea, Tottenham and Manchester United. As there is only a 3-player cap for each team, taking a look at these cheaper defenders could prove very useful. Number 3. Another key element that could add to your point tally would be to add attacking wingbacks. As a personal preference, I would always prefer to take a wingback over a centre back because they have a higher chance of scoring open goals as well as getting crosses into the box. This would mean a higher chance of you getting goals and assists on top of the clean sheets that they could possibly get. This can be seen with the likes of Kyle Walker, who had 5 assists and 14 clean sheets, Hector Bellerin, who had 4 assists and 10 clean sheets, and Ryan Bertrand, who had 4 assists and 12 clean sheets. Hence, if you want to have some valuable goals and assists, get wingbacks. Number 4. If you intend to invest a huge chunk of your transfer budget on one single player, invest in a proven striker. Goals are worth the most amount of points, so it is paramount that you get players that can smash it into the net. In just 30 games, Harry Kane had 29 goals and 7 assists. If you had captained Harry Kane for all 30 games that he played, you would have gotten 332 points on Harry Kane alone. If you had triple captained Harry Kane on the last 2 games of the season, you would have gotten 114 points. Another option would be to get strikers that play in a false 9 role. If a striker plays in a false 9 role, they have a tendency to drop back into the midfield and get assists. This can be seen with the likes of Alexis Sanchez, who on top of his 24 goals had 10 assists. Another interesting false 9 option would be Roberto Firmino, who had 11 goals and 7 assists. Hence, if you are still worrying of splurging a huge chunk of your transfer budget on a single player is worth it, trust me, it is. Number 5. And the most crucial point in my opinion is to not be afraid to get rid of players. It is especially important to remember it is not about loyalty to a player, but instead about getting the best bang for your buck. If you see a player going through a massive dry spell, do not be afraid to sacrifice them for 4 points, because it is a long season and you can make those points back. There's a tendency for people to hold on to players and think that they will score goals when in actual fact, you could have swapped them out for other players that would immediately contribute. But of course, at the same time, do not be too hasty to get rid of them as well. Every player goes through a bad game, but that doesn't